Ever loved someone so much it hurts? That feeling when you know they're bad for you, but walking away feels impossible? Lauryn Hill's X Factor is a mirror held up to the messy, painful, and real side of love. No cliches, no sugarcoating, just raw honesty about why we stay when we shouldn't and what it takes to finally let go. If you've ever been stuck in a relationship that drained you more than it filled you, this breakdown isn't just about lyrics. It's about understanding yourself. Lauryn Hill dives into the frustrations of a love that should be easy but has become unnecessarily complicated. The opening line, "It could all be so simple," sets the tone for the entire verse. There's a sense of longing for what the relationship could have been if both partners had just let it flow naturally. The repetition of "baby, baby, baby" in parentheses adds a layer of exhaustion, like she's sighing or even pleading, emphasizing how tired she is of the drama. The next line, "but you'd rather make it hard," shifts the blame to the other person, suggesting that the complications aren't coming from her, but from her partner's choices. It's a direct call out. This relationship isn't difficult because of fate or bad timing, but because the other person is choosing to make it that way. There's a hint of resentment here, as if she's saying, "We could have had something good, but you ruined it by overcomplicating things." Then she compares loving this person to a battle, which is a powerful metaphor. Battles are exhausting, painful, and leave lasting damage, just like this relationship. The imagery of "we both end up with scars" drives home the idea that this love isn't just emotionally draining, it's actively harmful. The use of scars implies that the wounds from this relationship won't just fade away. They'll leave permanent marks, shaping how both of them approach love in the future. Overall, this verse paints a picture of a love that's turned toxic not because of outside forces, but because of the other person's inability to keep things simple and peaceful. It's a mix of wariness, frustration, and resignation. She sees the potential for happiness, but it's being sabotaged by unnecessary conflicts. In the pre-chorus, Lauryn Hill digs into the painful reality of unreturned love and the desperation that comes with it. The line, "Tell me who I have to be," hits hard because it's not just a question, it's a plea. She's exhausted from trying to figure out what version of herself will finally make her partner love her back the way she deserves it. It's like she's saying, "I've tried everything, so just tell me what act to put on and I'll do it." That kind of vulnerability is heartbreaking because it shows how much she's willing to change just to receive basic love in return. The next line, "to get some reciprocity," cuts even deeper. Reciprocity is a fancy word for mutual give and take, but here it's not about grand gestures. It's about basic fairness. She's not asking for the world. She just wants the same energy she's putting in. The fact that she has to ask for it at all says everything. Love shouldn't feel like a negotiation, but here she is bargaining for the bare minimum. When she says, "No one loves you more than me," there's a mix of devotion and frustration in that statement. On one hand, it's a declaration of how deep her love runs, but on the other, it's almost a warning. Like she's saying, "You'll never find someone who cares this much, so why are you taking it for granted?" The repetition of "no one ever will" drives home the finality of it. It's not just that she loves him the most right now, it's that no one will ever love him like this again. There's a quiet power in that line, like she's both mourning the love she's given and subtly telling him he'll regret losing it. This whole section is about the imbalance in the relationship. She's pouring everything into someone who won't match her effort. It's raw, it's real, and it captures that moment when you realize you're fighting a losing battle for love that should have been easy. In verse 2, Lauryn Hill peels back the layers of a toxic relationship dynamic, questioning whether the emotional chaos is just a manipulative game to her partner. The opening line, "Is this just a silly game?" sets the tone with a mix of frustration and disbelief. She's not just asking, she's almost accusing, as if she's realizing that the drama between them might not even be real love, but rather some twisted power play. Calling it silly downplays it, but the hurt underneath suggests it's anything but trivial. She's tired and she's starting to see through the cycle. When she asks if this game forces you to act this way, there's a heavy sense of confusion. She's trying to understand why her partner behaves so hot and cold, pulling her in just to push her away. The word forces is interesting here because it makes it seem like her partner has no control, like they're trapped in their own toxic patterns. But at the same time, she's calling out the fakeness in it. It's as if she's saying, "Are you really this messed up? Or are you choosing to be difficult?" The next line forces you to scream my name, hints at passion, maybe even intimacy, but not the healthy kind. This isn't about love, it's about obsession, drama, or even possessiveness. The imagery of someone screaming her name feels intense, almost violent, like their relationship is fueled by highs and lows rather than real connection. And then, just as quickly, the partner pretend that you can't stay. That whiplash between intense attachment and sudden distance is classic emotional manipulation. One minute they're all in, the next they're out. It's exhausting, and Lauren sees right through it. This whole verse captures the moment when someone starts recognizing they're stuck in a cycle of push and pull where love feels more like a performance than something real. She's not just hurt, she's woke to the game, and that realization that the person she loves might just be playing with her emotions is what makes these lyrics so painfully relatable. The chorus is where Lauryn Hill lays bare the exhausting cycle of a relationship that's clearly broken but refuses to end. She starts with, "No matter how I think, we grow," which speaks to that glimmer of hope we all cling to in toxic relationships. The belief that maybe, just maybe, things are getting better. But immediately, she follows it with, "You always seem to let me know it ain't working," shutting down that optimism. It's like she's caught in a loop where every time she starts to believe in progress, her partner does something to remind her nothing has changed. The repetition of "it ain't working" drives home the finality of it. This isn't a rough patch, it's a flat out failure. Then comes the real kicker. "And when I try to walk away, you'd hurt yourself to make me stay." This line is devastating because it exposes the emotional blackmail at play. Instead of fixing the relationship or letting her go, her partner resorts to manipulation, using guilt, threats, or self-destructive behavior as a way to trap her. It's no longer just about two people not getting along. It's about one person weaponizing their pain to control the other. The word hurt here is intentionally vague. It could mean emotional drama, threats, or even physical harm. But the effect is the same. She feels responsible, and that makes leaving even harder. Finally, she lands on, "This is crazy," repeated for emphasis. The word choice is key because it's not just sad or frustrating, it's unhinged. She stepped outside the situation enough to recognize how irrational it all is, yet she's still stuck in it. The chorus captures that awful contradiction of knowing something is toxic but feeling powerless to break free. It's not just a breakup song. It's a song about the mental prison of loving someone who'd rather sabotage the relationship than fix it or let it go. In verse 3, Lauryn Hill exposes the frustrating contradiction at the heart of toxic relationships: the inability to leave someone even when you know they're bad for you. The line, "I keep letting you back in," carries so much weight because it's not about the other person forcing their way in. It's about her own choice to reopen the door again and again. There's a sense of self-awareness here, almost like she's shaking her head at herself, wondering why she can't break the cycle. When she asks, "How can I explain myself?" it's like she's grappling with the shame and confusion of staying in a situation that hurts her. She might be thinking about how to justify it to friends, to family, or even to herself. The parenthetical, "I don't understand why," makes it even more raw. She's admitting that logic has left the building. Love, especially the messy kind, often defies reason, and that's what she's wrestling with here. The next line, "As painful as this thing has been," is a blunt acknowledgement of the damage. She's not sugarcoating it. She's calling it what it is: painful. Yet, in the very next breath, she admits, "I just can't be with no one else." This is where the addiction of toxic love really shows itself. It's not that there aren't other options out there. It's that emotionally, she's stuck. Maybe it's fear of being alone. Maybe it's the history they share. Or maybe it's just that no one else makes her feel the same highs and lows, even if those lows are destroying her. This verse captures the heartbreak of loving someone who isn't good for you, but loving them so deeply that the idea of moving on feels impossible. It's not just about missing the person. It's about feeling like no one else could ever fill that space, even if that space is full of hurt. It's tragic, relatable, and painfully honest. The kind of confession that comes from the quiet moments when you're alone, wondering why you can't just walk away. This pre-chorus hits with the wary resignation of someone who's finally reached their breaking point. When Lauren sings, "See, I know what we've got to do," there's no anger left, just bone-deep certainty. She's not guessing or hoping anymore. She's arrived at the hard truth after cycles of pain. The solution is simple: you let go, and I'll let go too. But that simplicity makes it even heavier. It's not a dramatic fight. It's two people quietly releasing what's already dead. The repetition of "let go" mirrors how breakups actually happen, not with one grand moment, but with two people separately loosening their grip. That line, "'cause no one's hurt me more than you," lands like a final verdict. It's not just that this person hurt her. They hold the championship title for her deepest pain. What makes this so powerful is that she's not saying it to attack them, but as a simple fact that explains why this ending is necessary. Then comes the killer closer, and no one ever will. This isn't just about the past, it's about protecting her future. She's acknowledging that this pain was so extreme, she'll never let herself be vulnerable enough to feel it again. There's almost a twisted gratitude in that line, like this relationship was the crash course that taught her to build better boundaries. What's fascinating here is the maturity in her delivery. Earlier verses had frustration and confusion, but this pre-chorus shows her fully clear-eyed. She's not blaming, not bargaining, just stating facts. The relationship's legacy isn't love anymore. It's the title of Most Painful, and that's exactly why it has to end. There's something heartbreaking about how she positions mutual letting go as the kindest option, like they're doing each other a mercy by walking away. It's the emotional equivalent of taking off a ring you've been wearing too long. There's relief in the absence, even if the skin feels strangely naked. The breakdown section is where Lauryn Hill strips the relationship down to its most raw, repetitive, and painful truths. The repetition of phrases like care for me, there for me, and cry for me mirrors the cyclical nature of a toxic relationship. The way we keep replaying the same arguments, the same broken promises in our heads. It's almost like a mantra of disappointment where she's listing all the ways her partner said they'd show up but never did. The words start to blend together, just like how the lines between love and pain blur in these kinds of dysfunctional dynamics. The most cutting part comes with the line, "Why won't you live for me?" It's a gut punch because it reveals what she really wanted, not just grand gestures like dying for her, which is dramatic but empty, but the daily, quiet act of choosing her. To live for someone means showing up consistently, not just in words, but in actions. By contrasting all these promises, you said you'd die for me, with the simple, unmet need of, "Why won't you live for me?" She exposes the hollowness of performative love. It's not about big sacrifices, it's about being present, and her partner couldn't even do that. Then there's the shift at the end. "Where were you when I needed you?" Which is the climactic release of all the built up frustration. The repetition of "where" feels like she's finally calling them out, no longer stuck in the cycle of hoping they'll change, but demanding accountability. It's the moment the spell breaks where she stops replaying their empty promises and directly confronts their absence. The fragmented care, there, cry, give at the end is like the relationship's epitaph. All the things it was supposed to be reduced to a pile of unmet expectations. This whole section captures the madness of loving someone who's all talk. The repetition makes it feel obsessive, like she's trying to make sense of how someone could swear they'd do anything for her, die for her, but couldn't do the basic work of living for her. It's heartbreaking because it shows how love can become a loop of broken records, playing the same disappointed notes over and over until you finally snap out of it.